because at the end of today's play tomorrow, we'll be with you live on air tomorrow as well, of course. It will go down to a league system, so every match, every game potentially crucial as the first game of the day here at the ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League 2018 goes the way of Shang Sheng of KTS 11-6. So both players now will go back to their team benches. So we're all set for the second game here. Bernard Tan is, I'm delighted to say, alongside me now, who's a prominent member of the local Singapore table tennis community. And early on in this game, Bernard, it's a stunning start for KTS and Shang Sheng. He was out to a flyer there, took a 6-0 lead early, closed out the game 11-6, and it's going to be interesting to see if Joseph He from Sun Sports Elite can get some kind of response in this second.
I think obviously Zhang Zhen is the better player here. He has been a student from China, solid ground training back in China and then now in Singapore. I think he would do an excellent job in this particular match. Of course, Joseph is now getting a lead of 2-1. Perhaps he may be trying to challenge him for a game or two at least to put some pressure on Zhang Zhen.
We were talking to you earlier, Bernard. Obviously, Sun Sports Elite, the team we're seeing here in yellow, are the defending champions. Any major changes to their squad in their attempt to defend the crown this year? It's obviously a very youthful-looking squad standing here, looking over at their team bench. What can you tell us about the Sun Sport Elite as defending champions?
I think they've got a very strong team. Every one of their positions is filled up with excellent players. This morning, they seem to be a bit short of their star players, but I'm sure as the competition progresses, their full team will be here in full force.
That's a very good point you make there, Bernard, because obviously each team, correct me if I'm wrong, are allowed to name a squad of 12, and obviously they can interchange those in and out, but there's just no repetitions in each individual match, so you can't have a player play a singles and a doubles, but you can utilise the squad of 12 across the 2 days.
That's right.
So would that be arrogance on their part? They've obviously missing some of their star names this morning, or is it just a little bit too much to ask the same players to play every match in the 2 days?
I think within 2 days it may result in some fatigue for some of their star players. So I think with a big squad, it's good to get some of the other players helping out to play with the other lesser or weaker opponents. So I think today maybe they felt that the KTS team is a bit on the weaker side, I think. But New Century it's quite a good team, I think.
And of course, we talk about this being a wonderful community event, all about getting the Singapore table tennis community together. And what a wonderful, I mean, it took my breath away coming into this auditorium, the community auditorium at our Tampines Hub, and just seeing so many players of all age groups here getting ready for sport early on a Saturday morning. But we must mention in this Division 1, which we'll be concentrating on the TV table, not to be sniffed at, a first prize of $2,200 as well. So these players are playing for good prize money as well today, even though it's obviously the ethos of this event is it's a community event.
Exactly. I think the players are all in for the challenge, I believe. And I think Sunsport would probably take a strong lead in this game shortly. Maybe after this, because looking at what they have on the bench, probably Sunsport has the stronger lineup today.
Yeah, we can tell you up next we'll have the doubles between KTS and Sunsport. So it'll be Wu Jai Kui and Li Ming Cheng against Wang Tio and Zhuan Liang Sheng. So doubles this, it goes singles, doubles, singles, doubles, singles. And we will be playing dead rubbers in case of it needing to go to countback. I was just speaking to the organisers about that. So we're in store for some great table tennis here on 11 Sports over the next 2 days. Meanwhile, let's get back to the game in progress, because we've got a much tighter game here than we had in game 1, but still now it's Shang Sheng just edging away with a 2-point lead. Now Joseph having to make something happen on his serve.
I think Zhang Zhen is less aggressive now. He's going for a safe game, and I think Joseph is trying to lure him to make as many mistakes as possible.
Well, there's one just too long from Joseph. So clawing to within 2 points of a 2-game lead here is Shang Sheng. But I'm sure you've been in this position, Bernard. It's hard to close out here. He was streaking clear in the first game and could really relax, but he knows any mistake now, and Joseph could come right back at him here. Big point coming up.
Very close point, I believe. Critical. Oh, and he missed that shot.
So it'll be 3 game points for Shang Sheng, and it's looking increasingly likely that KTS are going to take the first match up here in this match between KTS and Sun Sports Elite. Sun Sports Elite's in the yellow. KTS, that one's gone over our heads here in the commentary position. Someone will need to go and fetch that ball. So he claws back to within 2, but no more margin for errors. Pressure's on Joseph here.
Very close and tight game, I believe.
Good measurement there from Joseph. He really found that deep part of the opponent's table, and that forced a mistake. So just like that, we're down to within 1 point. And is that a timeout being called
Yes,
there? You are allowed
there is
one timeout. Is it one timeout
One
per
timeout.
individual match?
Per tie, that's right.
Per tie, yes, that's the phrase I should be using, Bernard. It gets quite confusing, doesn't it? Each match consists of 5 ties.
5 ties, exactly.
And of course, the good thing is we can't have any ties in terms of draws, because with the best of 5 system, we'll find a winner in each game. Just to run you through, give people an idea during this timeout, Bernard, the other teams to look out for in Division 1. Obviously, we know Sun Sports Elite here are the defending champions. KTS Sports Club, we've got the New Century Table Tennis Club, Safra, who I know you're very close to. They've got 1, 2, 3 teams in Division 1, so they come here with a very strong hand.
I think traditionally Safra and Sunsport are the powerhouses, but in the last year I think KTS has really strengthened their squad and made a fantastic team. Maybe we should focus now on the final point of the game. I hope not. Perhaps a deuce, maybe the order of the day.
Joseph under big pressure here, but finding the shots he needs to stay in the game. Oh, he's played it excellently here. Can he finish it off? Rally of the match so far.
Oh,
and
yes.
What a play from Joseph. That was, Bernard. Point of the match so far to take us to deuce.
That was a deuce. I think Joseph is playing a very patient game, trying to lure Zhang Zhen into making more mistakes. And Zhang Zhen is trying to keep his cool and try to see out the second game as well.
Joseph saved 3 game points here. And he'll have to save another one as well as Shang Sheng edges back in front.
Excellent point by Zhang Zhen. Just a simple tap.
Too long, and we're back to deuce.
I think if Zhang Zhen wins this particular game, he will be way ahead in this particular tie. Oh, he's just made another mistake.
Well, and just like that, how quickly this game of table tennis can turn. Joseph faced 3 game points here, and now he has a game point of his own to level this up at 1 game apiece. And we are getting an absolute storming start to our coverage on 11 Sports at the 2018 Singapore National Table Tennis League, but too long. The chance has gone. Will he get another, Bernard? That's the question.
I think Zhang Zhen will still be going for a steady shot. He may try something like a fast attack on Joseph. And I think Joseph needs to keep his cool to try and send the ball back and lure Zhang Zhen into making another mistake. As expected, he went for the kill. And now he's got
very
a match
attacking
point.
player, Shang Sheng, isn't he? Goes for his shots very early in rallies, and he's got another game point here. And just like that.
He got it down.
Yeah, well, he took 5 game points to pick it up, but pick it up he did. He now takes a 2 games to love lead over Joseph. But there were just signs of life there from Joseph in that one, wasn't there, Bernard? I think he's going to have to work hard to get across the line here, Shang Sheng.
Well, psychologically, I think this was the game that he could have made it 1-1, and he would have made his this entire tie easier for Sun Sports. But unfortunately, try as he might, I think Chang Zhen has some good experience. So he mixed up his shots, some aggressive shots, and now he's up with a 2-0 lead. So I would like to think that KTS will probably end up winning this tie.
So KTS on the brink of taking a one-tie lead here in this matchup against the reigning champion Sunsport Elite. In these timeouts, give us an indication of what kind of messages are being given across. I mean, are these the team managers, or can any of your teammates chip in and give you some words of wisdom? I mean, how strictly managed are the timeouts here and the breaks between games?
Well, the breaks is a 1-minute break, and usually the coach of the team would rise to give some advice to the players. Usually it's either strategy or psychological, or even direct coaching on where to place the points or where to place the ball.
Went for it big there and missed out, Shang Sheng. So Joseph E gets a point on the board. His teammate still very enthusiastic.
Well, I'm sure the KTS coach would have asked him to keep his cool for Chang Zhen and to try and finish the game.
That was a beautiful counter and a wonderful reply from Shang Sheng, who's showing his class here. And Joseph E will probably be regretting starting so slowly. And I'm sure you get some players, Bernard, don't you, that are very slow starters. It takes them a time to, get into the groove, get used to the conditions here.
Yes. I think some players take some time, and particularly this is the first match of the entire league for this morning. So I think they are still trying to get themselves into the groove. Some players end up much better when they first started than when they first start. So I think likely Joseph will hopefully pick up his game as the entire league goes along.
Just to give you an indication, if you are watching us here live on 11 Sports, of the games that we'll be bringing you later on through the day. Here, obviously, KTS against Sun Sports Elite will be showing next with a scheduled start time of 11 a.m. The game between the New Century Table Tennis Club first team and Safra A. And first thing that strikes me is New Century Table Tennis Club with just 7 players in their team. Bernard, is that going to work against them over the 2 days, do you think?
I think New Century is going to find it tough this year. They have always fielded a fairly even team, but a couple of their players may not be able to make it for the competition this year. So I think they will have some challenge in maintaining a strong position in this year's league. And of course they'll be up against, in that game that's next after this one, the Safra A team. Now run me through how this works with Safra. We've got Safra 1, Safra 2 and Safra A. Is Safra 1 the main chance, or have you spread the players across? No, Safra A teams? Is probably the best team from Safra, and they have among their players ex-national players and national youth players. The Safra 1 team is an up-and-coming young team. They consist of some old experienced players and some very talented youngsters in Singapore table tennis today. That's what the great thing about this as well. Obviously, it's open to all this table tennis event. We're obviously concentrating on Division 1, 6 divisions for an event that started just a couple of years back with, just one division. I would imagine there are 2,000 people here in our Tampines Hub Community Auditorium today, all enjoying table tennis, and at the moment enjoying Shang Sheng racing away in this third game that looks like it's going to be the decisive one, Bernard. Yes, I think Chang Zhen is now going to go for the kill, and he's going to try and win this third game with a commanding 5-1 lead now. Yeah, just not happening. For Joseph in this one, but he'll have other battles to fight in the games later today, I'm sure. Shang Sheng kicking himself there, angry with himself. He still leads 6-2, but I think he gave away a cheap point there. I think at this point he doesn't want to give away any soft points to the opponent, so that the opponent does not grow in confidence. But he just made another simple mistake, so hopefully he will be able to pick up his game. I think he's trying to calm down and get refocused. I know you're in action today as well, Bernard. What's your schedule like in terms of when you'll be out there playing? I have a concurrent match now, starting at 9 o'clock at another table, but my teammates are now playing. So I'm playing in the second doubles. Hopefully, my team will see out the competition before I have to play my match or my game. Yeah.
Well, I thought that. I am told we will be playing dead rubbers, so you might have to step up regardless.
Yes,
you're
I know.
grimacing there.
Yeah, but I think it's okay. You know, that once if my teammates have already settled the dust,
The
then
pressure's off.
The pressure has dropped tremendously.
Well, all of a sudden, Joseph He's got this back to within 1 point. Those couple of long shots from Shang Sheng. He needs to get back on track here and does so with a beautiful attacking shot. And Joseph He can only send that into the clouds here at our Tampines Sub-Community Auditorium. And again, he opens up a 2-point break. But he's not gone down without a fight here, Joseph He. That's encouraging to see.
So if you watch the table tennis today versus table tennis of old when it was 21 points, when you have a commanding 6-2 lead today in a format of 11 points, it is quite easy to lose that lead as compared to the old system of 21 points. So I think maybe Joseph could be spelling that he can sneak in a game or two if Chang Chen does not focus well enough.
Well, there's another mistake from Shang Sheng. He's producing plenty of winners, Shang Sheng, but he is making a couple of unforced errors here, which is really, I think, as that umpire's arm goes up, I think there's a table on the floor there from a ball on the floor there from another table. But he is a very attack-minded player. It's great to watch, though, isn't it, when you get these attacking players who go for their shots. But maybe he's going for one now too many, and he's grabbed his back there.
Yeah, there was a really strong underspin from Joseph. Really takes a lot of effort to get it over the net.
Great shot on our camera work there of the serve from Shang Sheng, how he masks the intention with the serve. Is another one that's gone wide this time, and we're tied at 8 apiece. And just like the previous game where Shang Sheng looked in control, Joseph He's come back at him once more, Bernard.
Yes, indeed, and I think KTS has not been able to call on their another timeout now, and the coach cannot offer advice, and maybe Joseph is going to sneak in with the game.
Well, are we going to go to a fourth game in our first tie of the day on the TV table here at the 2018 ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League? It's 9 apiece.
Really close.
Shang Sheng's going to be falling over the line here if he can get it done in this game. Superb work from Joseph He. And he's finding the big shots at just the right time. Now, he had a game point in the previous game and couldn't convert. He gets another one here now. Are we going to a fourth? Yes, we are.
We are.
Well, Joseph He deserves all the plaudits coming his way. And you said it brilliantly, Bernard, didn't you? You mentioned it when it was 6-2 to Shang Sheng there in this new 11-point format. 6-2 can so quickly turn against you, and so it's proved. We're going to a fourth game.
Indeed. And it looks like Chang Chen is a little bit tired in the third game. I think his coach would have to ask him to refocus his energies. And I think maybe Joseph will be a bit more aggressive in the fourth game, trying to take points and dent the confidence of Chang Chen in the fourth game, now that his lead is cut to just one game.
Standard here, really impressive. We've been fortunate on 11 Sports to cover table tennis in Singapore already in recent months, and we focused on one of the great youth events at the National Table Tennis Centre, which really was an eye-opener. Some of these youngsters who I see some of the same faces here today. The future of table tennis in Singapore is especially bright. You know, all the fuss that's made about the underperformance of the footballers, we sometimes don't stop to focus on the other sports that are doing such great work on an international level. Table tennis, floorball, the men's hockey team just pulled off a very big victory as well. But table tennis, in terms of participation, is just huge here in Singapore these days.
I think Singapore sports has picked up quite a lot in the last decade. I think particularly with the government's focus on sports. I think it has been an excellent time for Singapore sports in the last decade, especially with Joseph Schooling's gold medal at the Olympics. I think it has brought sports to another level. And I think the government, through Sports Singapore, has made some good developmental plans for all sports. And you can see this in the standard of the players. yeah, especially in the sports of table tennis.
Well, certainly so. This level in this match is incredibly high, and are we going to be seeing one of the comebacks? It would be ironic if we got one of the comebacks of the tournament in the very first matchup here, because that's the way it's looking. And you called this spot on again, Bernard, during that break between the games. Zhang Shen is rattled here, and just like that, Josephine has raced in to a 3-point lead. And very important, I think, that Zhang Shen got that point on the board. Josephine going long with his forehand.
I think Zhang Zhen has got some good experience. He's probably going to use his experience to try and claw back and try to induce some mistakes from Joseph.
But it's interesting looking at the two benches. You can see them on our screen there on the right. In the blue, obviously, it's the KTS bench. In the yellow on the left is the Sun Sports team. And the Sun Sports team, the slightly more animated of the two, there's a couple of concerned looks at the moment from KTS. And I'm right in thinking there's still a timeout up the sleeve of Sun Sports. Yes.
Indeed. I think with the choppers that Joseph is his playing style, I think they need to play a patience game, and usually they take the game to the rubbers, because the opponents sometimes get a little bit less focused, or they are more tired, because you need a lot of physical effort to overcome a chopper.
Well, they say in boxing, don't they, styles make fights, and in table tennis that's the case as well. And these two styles of the attacking player of Zhang Shen and the blocking of Josephine are giving us one hell of a contest here. We're tied at 4 in the fourth.
Exactly. You can see the gladiator in Zhang Shen trying to make a fight out of this game and try to make sure that he holds that confidence of a one-game lead. Otherwise, in the fifth game, he'll have some confidence challenges, I believe.
What Josephine is doing very well here, Bernard, is he's making Zhang Shen work for this. You know, we were already writing the obituary for Josephine after he lost the first game 11-6, but he's making Zhang Shen have to work really hard for every point now, and he's forcing him into more and more mistakes.
Yeah, I think Joseph's basics are really good. You know, his underspin on his chops are really effective, and Zhang Shen just can lift up the ball most of the time. And when he does that, I think Joseph gets in with the counter attack.
The help of the net cord there.
Yeah.
Coming to Josephine, who's getting all the breaks at the moment, and he's also getting a 3-point lead. Are we going to a fifth? Oh, he set up Zhang Shen there. Somehow got it back, but it's long.
Super shot from Zhang Shen. Lots of spin and power in that shot.
Sometimes Zhang Shen's almost looking in disbelief at these shots that Josephine is getting back across the table. That's too long though, and we're back to a 1-point margin here.
Joseph must be thinking that was an easy shot, he should have made it.
But he's made far harder than that. He's come out with some sensational defensive work in this tie to get himself back to win distance of tying it up. Oh, what a shot that was from Zhang Shen. And then he makes the mistake. I think there's an acknowledgement of a bit of luck from Josephine there.
It touched the net cord again.
Well, that's 2 net cords in the last 4 points for Josephine, and it's taken him to within 3 points of forcing a fifth.
There was a wicked side spin. And
Well,
Zhang Shen didn't take note of that, and it was an easy point for Joseph.
What a turnaround we've had here.
That was a simple error from Joseph. He could have almost sewn up the game. So what do you think? Are we going to look at a fifth game coming up?
Well,
no, it's
that was a big
8-9.
point there. They're giving him 3 game points, Josephine. I just think Zhang Shen is just trying to fall over the line here. Josephine, if it goes to a fifth, I think my money will be on Josephine, because the frustration is evident in Zhang Shen now. And maybe we're seeing why Sun Sports Elite are the defending champions, because this is a stunning turnaround. 2 game points to take us to a fifth. And we go to a fifth. Zhang Shen goes long, and it's another game in the bank for Josephine, who's come from 2 down here to level it up at 2 apiece. Stay with us. The fifth game coming up in just a moment. So, you join us back live here at the Tampines Hub Community Auditorium, Level 3, for the opening tie in our first match of this two-day competition here at the ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League 2018. And what a start we've had. Zhang Zheng took out the first two games, 11-6, 14-12. But Joseph here, the defending champion, Sun Sports Elite, has stormed back, taking the third 12-10 and the fourth 11-8. So we go to a decider. Joseph in the yellow, Zhang Zheng in the blue. And Joseph He's defensive masterclass here has put him in line for what would be the comeback. I say comeback of the day, it's the first game, but you'd be hard pushed to find a better comeback than this if he can pull it round completely. Zhang Zheng, as Bernard rejoins me, taking the first point of this fifth game. Joseph He, furious with himself there, getting everything back from Zhang Zheng. I think Joseph maybe suffered there from, departing from his playbook there. He got a bit too aggressive in that rally.
Yes, I think Zhang Zheng is trying to change his strategy and allowing Joseph to start the attack. So he's feeding some balls to Joseph, and I think he made a couple of mistakes in the first 2 points.
Well, Zhang Zheng, we've been here before. We were here in the first game when he opened up a 6-love lead and took that one out 11-6, but then in the third game, he led 6-3 and couldn't close it out, but a strong start in this deciding fifth.
Well, this will be a strong psychological battle between the two players. One who has come back down from 2 games down, and another who has taken a two games lead now into the rubbers.
Up next, by the way, immediately after this, we'll have the first doubles match of this game, or the doubles tie I should say. KTS represented by Wu Jikui and Li Mingcheng against Wang Tio and Zhuan Liangsheng of Sun Sports Elite, and it's looking very much like it'll be KTS going into that second rubber with a lead. But at the change of ends at 5-love, can Joseph He come back into this?
It is interesting in the first doubles that Sunsport has utilized one of their best players, Tuan Linton, in the doubles. I think Tuan Linton will, it's a natural left-hander, and he would definitely be able to get some advantage in this doubles game for Sunsports. One of the outstanding players in the local table tennis scene in the last 8 to 10 years, Tuan Linton.
Zhuan Liangsheng, so thank you for that, Bernard. So if you are with us watching on 11 Sports, stay with us for that. You'll see one of the superstars of the local scene very shortly indeed. Very shortly, because the doubles will immediately follow this game. That Joseph He gets a second point on the board. Is the comeback on? Lost the first 5, won the next 2. It's going to be a real test of nerve here. Too long from Joseph He. He needs to make his move now, you feel. And again, you call this, Bernard, there's definitely been a change of tact from Zhang Zheng in this fifth game, hasn't there?
I think he's mixing his game well. Some nice, simple shots, trying to lure Joseph into making some mistakes instead of going for the aggressive power shots that he used in the earlier 2 games.
Let cord there, so they'll reset at 7-2 to Zhang Zheng in the fifth. There he is, you can see that. Not going for all his shots there, and almost bamboozled by Zhang Zheng's reluctance to go on the attack. Joseph He missed out, and now he trails by 6 points. There's just 3 points separating Zhang Zheng from taking the first rubber. And that goes into the net, so having survived a very big scare, Bernard, it does look like it's going to be first blood to KTS.
Indeed. With such a commanding 10-2 lead now with a match point, I think KTS would have bagged their first tie.
8 match points, Zhang Zheng. He doesn't need any more than one of them. Joseph E is beaten, but what a performance he gave in clawing it back to 2 each. Shang Sheng beats Joseph E 11-6, 14-12, 10-12, 8-11 and 11-2, and KTS pick up the first rubber in our first match on Table 18, our TV table live on 11 Sports, and a great start to the coverage, Bernard. That was a really competitive game that was an enjoyable one to watch.
Yes, I think there'll be more good games to come because these two teams were the top two teams last year, and this season's opener really provides all the action for the league today, and I believe that upcoming next will be a very exciting doubles match. But I see the with Tualinson in Sun Sports, I think definitely Sun Sports will have the edge in this particular tie.
So Sun Sports in the yellow, represented by Juanling Sheng and Wang Tio. KTS by Wu Chi Kwai and Li Ming Cheng. That's the game that's up next. Stay with us. We'll take in the players warm up, then be back with live commentary with KTS holding a 1 rubber lead here in this best of 5 matchup. So we're set for action then in this doubles matchup. Sun Sports Elite in the yellow, KTS in the blue, and remember what Bernard said, keep an eye out for Juanling Sheng. Very strong start from KTS on the offensive there to pick up the first point in this doubles matchup. Remember, Sun Sports Elite under just a little bit of pressure here, which is why I'm sure in their mindset they went with one of their strong players here, the left-hander on the left of your screen as you watch there. Great start from KTS though. They've raced into a 3-love lead. So Bernard has rejoined me, I'm delighted to say. You went to check on your team. How are they getting on table 15, Bernard?
Well, we're having a one point lead, and in the rubbers tie now.
And that's Safra. Which Safra team is that, in which division?
It's Division 1. Safra
Division
A
1.
playing Safra 1.
Safra, oh, so it's a Safra derby.
Because it's a league, so we've got to play our own teams first.
I do hope I get to see you in the on the TV table later on, so I can commentate on you having taken in all your words of wisdom. Let's concentrate on this doubles match here, because KTS, very strong start against this strong team of Wang Tio and the lefty Juanling Sheng, and the pressure will be on Sun Sports a little bit here, because having seen Shang Sheng win that first rubber for KTS, be a lot of problems for them. You talked earlier about the game you were taking an interest in if you were teammates can be 3-0 up when you have to play your doubles, it helps. But the pressure could be on Sun Sports Elites if they lose this doubles match here.
Well, I think it's still an early day for the Sunsport players. So I think they are slowly warming up. I have absolute confidence in Tuan and Wang to pick up this point.
Well,
but who knows?
Yeah,
who knows? Maybe my
like
prediction may be wrong. Wu and Lee may have spring a surprise, and I think that's the beauty of the game, isn't it? That
very much so. Listen, that's what sport's all about. Like, you know, played at its highest level, it can be ultra competitive. We saw that with Shang Sheng and Joseph He. That could have gone either way in the 5th game, but I think you might have been onto something there, because that was a stunning attack shot from Wang Tio that is started to turn the tide in this game. So the strong start from KTS, who are having a smile and a laugh and a joke with each other. And that's the other thing that always comes across, and I'm working on table tennis. Badminton's very similar as well. The psychology of it, how players may manage to keep their cool and maintain their own composure when things are going wrong. It's not how you cope when things are going well, it's how you cope when things are going wrong.
Table tennis is a fast reflex sport, so I think the players need to keep a calm and collected mind when they are playing the game, so that their muscles are not affected, they don't get hardened, and they are able to deliver the shots required, because they use quite a lot of the small group muscles, you know, so they cannot be so tense, especially in a doubles game where the dexterity of the players' hands, their feet movement, and their strategy and play, they all come into play all at the same time. So I think the players would be very much need to stay calm and collected.
Well,
and now you see Sunsport now back in the lead.
Just like that, Wang and Duan on a 6-point streak now. Make that 7. And the old sage Bernard told us earlier not to get too excited about KTS's strong start here. They've now gone and lost 8 points without reply. And it's just not happening for them. They're being bamboozled by this Wang Tio and Duan Liang Sheng matchup. Would you say Duan Liang Sheng, the lefty here we see on the left of your screen as you watch live on 11 Sports, is one of the best players at this competition?
One of the best players. Look at the last service they delivered on the last point of this particular game. It was a very surprise long service, and it caught the opponent by surprise. And really, he is an excellent player.
And who's that giving them coaching now? I mean, obviously the team managers are listed. We've got Liao Chi Hoi, who's the team manager listed for Sun Sports Elite. Is that who he would be talking to now? Is that one of the other players?
No, that is Mr. Chang Dingji. He will be playing in the next tie with Tang Hua from KTS.
Great.
So Chang is also an excellent southpaw. He is a left-handed player, and he has been a household name in table tennis in Singapore in the last 8 to 10 years, together with Tuan Lin Chen.
Well, it's great to see. So the eligibility for this, because obviously it's very competitive as we're seeing, great to see abilities, all ages, even I know the Paralympic Table Tennis Association are involved in this event as well. But at this elite level here, what are the rules of eligibility? You can't be, as I understand it, a current Singapore salaried national player, but you can be an ex-player. There's nothing to stop ex-national players playing in this.
Yes, I think the eligibility is like it's open to Singaporeans, or if you have
PR?
You're working here or you're PR, right? You have a work pass here. I think they allow you to play. But if you are like a salaried worker with the Singapore Table Tennis Association in the national team, then they do not allow you to play. So this includes national representatives as well as sparring partners and or coaches.
But what is wonderful is it's very much a community feel. I mean, that's what these events, Singapore could do with more events like this in terms of sports that mix the elite level and people taking the sport very seriously at international level and beyond, to the players that play grassroots. I mean, I've been looking at the age ranges here. I know that the figures I've got, 34 tables, 92 teams, over 1,000 players. But I've seen, you know, youngsters toddling around here, look about 7 or 8, and there's some elderly folks as well of like 60 plus.
Yes, I think these competitions, by segregating them by divisions, allow people from all walks of life to participate, and they segregate the players by standards, and they have a promotion and a relegation system where the top 2 teams, where the bottom 2 teams get relegated, and the top 2 teams of the one division below will get promoted to the upper division next year.
I'm just scanning my schedule here. Now, you said you're in Safra 1, is that right?
I'm in Safra A.
Safra A. So Safra, oh, so you are our next match here on the TV.
Yeah, together
so
with
looking
New
forward to that.
Century, I believe.
Now, how does that work in terms of commentating during that one? Do you have to?
I'm not quite sure, but I believe my team has sufficient players in the next tie, and probably they will rest me.
I'm looking forward to seeing the emotion as you cheer your teammates on at our next matchup. But that's still a ways away. We're in the second rubber here, and it's looking very much like Sun Sports Elite are on their way to levelling this tie up. Or the matchup, I should say, because they've taken the first game here in the first doubles matchup, and they're 6-1 in front in the second as well. There's the left-hander. He picks up another point. But they've not had a look in, have they? They just almost they almost let KTS have the first 6 points to suss out their game, and then they said, right, we're going to start now dismantling you, and they've done just that.
Duan has a wide array of strokes and styles in this tie, and he's all displaying them in this particular doubles match. Very interesting choice of shots and so on, luring the opponents to make mistakes and so on.
Well, the pressure's on Wu Ji Kui and Li Ming Chen, aren't they? They're just going for it now to try and change something. That going for it very early in rallies now. They finally picked up a point there. It's the first one in what seems like an age, but they're still seemingly destined to go 2 games down in this second tie.
Well, there was an excellent serve again, but I think Wang didn't capitalize on the return and made a simple error. So the score now is 3-9. Excellent receive.
7 game points.
A quick
for
flick
Sun
of the
Sports
wrist.
Elite.
A quick flick of the wrist, and the point is to Sun Sports. They've got match points. Excellent flick.
And just like that, they take the game and are 2 games up here in this second rubber, and looking increasingly likely that the reigning champion Sun Sports Elite are going to tie things up. Who would Sun Sports Elite see as their main competition for this crown? Obviously, would you be putting Safra A? Are your team hopeful that you can be challenging for the title here? What are your team's aspirations?
Well, I think the top 3 teams are just slightly ahead of the other 5 other teams in this division. That is KTS, Sunsport Elite, and Safra A. At least on paper, you know, if all the players play according to their form and are available for selection during the matches.
Yes, and that's obviously because it's such a commitment. This we'll be here live on air on 11 Sports all day today and all day tomorrow. So, would there be some of your teammates that wouldn't even come today? Would just come tomorrow, or?
Yeah, I have some of my teammates who are not able to commit themselves today because of work, and but today we are playing 2 matches against our own teams.
So it's less important.
It's a little bit less important.
But having worked on the badminton, the BWF big events in Singapore, and seen what skullduggery goes on with the Chinese badminton players when they're playing each other, please don't tell me any of that goes on with you guys.
No, it doesn't. We are very competitive. I think in our first match today, we have decided to go all out. Doesn't matter who wins. It's okay for us to play as competitively as we can.
That was some shot there.
Yeah. Because Safra 1, I think, has quite a number of young players, and they are really keen to challenge for the top honors. They've been on the sidelines just smelling the title nearby their noses, but just not getting there yet. But I think as 1 more year has passed, and they've all grown a bit bigger, stronger, and better this year.
So, quick word of wisdom from Zhuang Liangsheng to Wang Qiu. Has it done the trick? Not on that occasion. That was good attacking work from Wu Ji Kui and Li Ming Chen, who are at least being competitive in the early stages of this third game. Sizable crowd is gathered around this table 18 as well to enjoy this, and for once it's KTS bamboozling Sun Sports Elite there to tie this one up at 3 apiece.
There was a fantastic block from Lee, right inside the table, just as the ball bounces up.
Oh, that one's gone straight through the middle and deceived both Wu Jikui and Li Mingcheng. They're smilers. These two don't get angry with each other, do they? They have a smile and are enjoying their table tennis here.
Just look at the last point, the ease with which Tuan hit that shot. It's clearly a class above the opponents in this particular tie.
Too long. 6-3, and this, you get the impression, is going to be the final push to victory for Wang Qiu and Zhuan Lingsheng. And it looks like we're going to have a match-up tied here at 1 rubber apiece after, if you are just joining us, Shang Sheng earlier beat Joseph in a real thriller in 5 games. Shang Sheng came through there. Straight into the net, and you can't give players of the calibre of Wang Qiu and Zhuan Lingsheng 3 points like that. Oh, just clipped the edge. He puts the hand up at acknowledgement. Just what KTS didn't need, trailing 7-4. They now trail 8-4. Just 3 points from victory. Make that 2. Oh, he went for the put away there and straight into the net. That is everyone's worst nightmare. That's the kind of shot you wish hadn't happened on the TV table.
There was a little bit of overconfidence by Tuan. But they have got a good commanding lead of 9-5, 4 points lead. And I think they're going to close the game if they can as soon as possible.
Oh, the spin off that shot was astounding. What a long range rally that was. And KTS maybe going down, but they're going down with at least a bang rather than a whimper. One of the rallies of this tie so far. And KTS take it. They still trail by 3. Make that 2. Now, we've been here before in the singles match between Shang Shen and Joseph He, where Shang Shen was cruising to a 3-love lead seemingly, and Joseph He pulled it back to 2 each. But you don't think history is going to repeat itself here, Bernard?
Nah, I think Tuan is too experienced to allow that. He's probably going to try and close the game.
And they'll get 3 match points now.
Excellent service again. Wide variety of service styles that Tuan has employed in this game.
Oh, cut the net. And he sent Wang Qiu hurtling across the table and couldn't quite get there. And I wonder if he's hurt himself there. Just gave a little stretch. Still on match point, of course. On the Jikui Li Mingcheng serve. And another one goes begging. So just 1 match point remains. They've had 2 and seen them both go by. And crucially, this match point is on the KTS serve. That'll do it, will it? Yes, it's gone. They put the arm up, I think, in acknowledgement. I think they want the point there because they're saying that was heading towards the table. The umpire's decision. Now, they turn this round. Now, explain to everyone what's happening there, because the trajectory of the ball has got to be landing on the table, correct? And initially, the umpire and the line judge gave that the other way.
Exactly, but I think the Sunsport players acknowledged that it could have clipped the edge of the table and conceded the point to KTS. So the umpires have respected the players.
Well, that was incredibly sporting, bearing in mind that was on the 3rd match point.
Exactly.
And now they have to face game points.
Yes.
Extraordinary.
There was an excellent placement by Tuan and a great follow-up by Wang.
Well, they've wasted 3 match points. They've now saved 1 game point. Can they win this one and finally close this one out in straight games? To the first 11-6, the second 11-3. This one, suffice to say, has been much, much tighter. And they will get another opportunity. You get the impression they're not for messing around anymore. Great shot from Wang Qiu, and it brings about match point number 4 for the Sun Sports Elite double team of Wang Qiu and Zhuan Lingsheng. And they still can't close it out. What hustle this is from Wu Jikui and Li Mingcheng. definitely gain these two boys in blue, Bernard.
I think KTS is trying to go for a last kick in their game to try and salvage this particular tie and hopefully bring it to the fourth game.
And they'll get another game point. Only the second game point they've had in this match. They spurned the first. And all of a sudden there's some rueful grimaces from across the table being made by the Sun Sports Elite boys.
I think the Sun Sport players may have lost a bit of their focus a little bit.
Well, they look to be cruising to victory in this match, didn't they? It's 6-1, was it, in this third game?
It was.
They've now wasted 4 match points. They've saved 2 game points. And now can they try and manufacture another match point to finally put this to bed? I can see Shang Jingji warming up, getting ready to be straight on the table next in his singles encounter with it's Changhua, isn't it? Changhua for KTS. And here it is. I'm losing track of the match points now. I think it's match point number 5. And again, they'll have to do it on the KTS serve, which they haven't been able to do in 2 of those match points. But they finally do it now. It's match for Sun Sports Elite. They take it out 11-6, 11-3 and 15-13. But credit to the 2 boys from KTS. Maybe outclassed and outmatched, but they certainly were competitive in that last game, Bernard.
I think KTS did excellently well to try and close the third game to a deuce and even hold match points on their own. But I think the experience and the star quality in that doubles from Sun Sports, both Wang Jiu and Tuan Lin Zhen, has sealed the game for them. And now it's 1-1 and one point
tie each, one tie each, with Zhang Zheng winning the singles for KTS, the first singles, and now Wang Qiu and Zhang Lingsheng winning the doubles. I know you want to check in your team, Bernard, so I'll let you go for a quick respite while the players are warming up. But very quickly, what can we expect from KTS? Changhua and Sun Sports Elite's Shang Jingji. That's the next matchup we're seeing on the TV table next.
Right, Zhang Jingji is a former provincial player, I believe, in China, and came over as a student and has maintained his standard in table tennis. While Changhua was a former national sparring partner of the Singapore national team, and these are 2 players of the highest qualities in Singapore right now. And I think this will be a very interesting matchup. So if you are keen to watch an excellent game, I think stay tuned to this particular tie, and they will provide you with all the action.
Great stuff, Bernard. Well, yep, I think we've got a great matchup in store here. KTS and Sun Sport Elite, they're locked at 1 rubber apiece. Bernard's going to go and check on how his Safra team are getting on, and we'll be back for live commentary when this warm-up's completed. So I think Bernard's had to go off and play one of his rubbers now, so we might be without Bernard for this game. Nevertheless, I will try my best to hold the fort. Bernard off in that Safra 1 against Safra A game here, with this matchup between KTS and Sun Sport Elite, tied at 1 rubber apiece. In the blue for KTS, it's Changhua, and in the yellow for Sun Sport Elite, it's Shang Jingji. As Bernard said before he toddled off to play. Here's rubber. It's expected to be a very high quality affair, this. And of course, in the context of the match, it's crucial as well, because whichever team takes this out will be just one rubber away. What a shot that was. Really good attacking forehand from the lefty, Chuang Hua. Of course, we've got lefty against lefty here. And the team members getting very animated in support behind their two charges. Oh, another superb forehand across the table. Lovely work from Chuang Hua. Getting into his rhythm and groove nice and early here. Oh, just clipped the edge. Just clipped the edge of the table there from Shang Jingji. Four apiece. Good response from Shang Jingji after that. Nice attacking play from Tang Hua. Into the net, that one goes. Chuang Hua edging in front, and Bernard's prediction of this being a close affair is looking bang on the money at the moment. The first game, remember, the first singles match or tie in this matchup between Shang Sheng and Joseph, he went to the full 5 games. A reminder, if you are just joining us live in 11 Sports at this ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League 2018, the next game we'll bring you on the TV table will be the New Century Table Tennis Club 1 against Safra A. On table 18, we're bringing you 2 games in the morning session, 2 games in the afternoon session, and we'll be back with you live tomorrow for the conclusion as well. Chuang Hua still keeping his nose in front in this first game. Net cord there, Chuang Hua reacted well. Look at this backhand rally par excellence, and a forehand attempt from Shang Jingji. He was the first man to blink. It went into the net, and it's given Chuang Hua some decent daylight here in this first game. High toss on the serve. The backhand was brilliant, and he's forced another mistake. It's going to take something special from Shang Jingji to turn this first game round. That's the net cord and long. 5 game points then. Very quick game indeed. These are 2 devilishly quick players, both playing an attacking game. Too long from Chuang Hua on that occasion. But he's still got 4 game points to play with. Too long. The first game goes the way of KTS and Chuang Hua by 11 points to 6. Stay with us. The second game coming up next. So second game underway. In the yellow for Sun Sports Elite, it's Shang Jingji. In the blue for KTS, nearest to us as you watch live on 11 Sports, it's Cheng Hua, who played some mightily impressive attacking strokes in that first game. You're watching live coverage of the ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League 2018, live from our Tampines Hub Community Auditorium. What a great sporting venue this our Tampines Hub is. If you haven't had a chance to get down here, must try. All kinds of community programs going on for young, for old, for all levels of sporting ability. As a rare service mistake comes in there from Cheng Hua. We of course enjoyed the Singapore Floorball Championships, or the Singapore Floorball National Teams I should say, at the Asia Oceania Pacific Floorball Championships last month in the sports hall just across the way from here. Tampines Rovers, the Stags, playing the Singapore Premier League in the football stadium contained within this magnificent complex, and it really is a testament to everyone behind the scenes running Tampines that we have this magnificent benchmark of sports on the East Coast. So Cheng Hua, a little bit rattled by that rare service mistake early in this game. Trails 4-2. But his backhand, the movement, this flick of the wrist is just so good. And it's the backhand causing all kinds of problems at the moment for Shang Jingji. Into the net that one goes, a very attacking return from Shang Jingji, just enabling him to maintain his edge in this second game. Oh, too good from Shang Jingji. Seems to have gone defensive to a certain extent in this one. Cheng Hua has done the trick there though, forces the mistake out of a grimacing Shang Jingji. He still leads by 2 points though. Straight into the net from Cheng Hua, who's made a couple of unforced errors here in this second game. They've given him work to do. He stops to think what he's going to do with his serve. There's an acknowledgement from Shang Jingji, got a bit lucky there with his return. I think there was a net cord involved. Great to see such crowds here today. Over 2,000 plus in attendance at our Tampines Hub. 34 tables, 92 teams, over 1,000 players, and you can double that number in terms of who's in attendance here. Great Singapore sport on a Saturday morning, and indeed Saturday afternoon and all day tomorrow as well. And if you do like your table tennis, try and get down to our Tampines Hub, as a stunning shot from Shang Jingji brings warm applause from the crowd and also brings up 6 game points to level this up at 1 each. And he gets it done at the first time of asking. You get the impression Cheng Hua was happy to see the back of that game. He loses it 11-4, so we had an 11-6 in Cheng Hua's favour in the first and 11-4 in Shang Jingji's favour in the second. So we're underway then, the third game. We're tied at 1 each. Cheng Hua in blue, Shang Jingji in yellow. think he just wrote that game off about halfway through it, Changhua. If he can find and rediscover the form and table tennis he showed in the first game, surely he'll move ahead again here, and that looks to be the case. I think he just wanted to get off the table when things started going against him after a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes in that second game. Really good attacking return of serve from Changhua. Oh, that was poor. He was deceived by the spin, Shang Jingji, and he knew the second the shot left his bat that he was in trouble there. As Changhua goes for the towel at 4-2 and 1 each in games. High toss with the serve. Too long. Point goes the way of Changhua, who looks to have recovered from that second game blip. Oh, really good point from Changhua. Just gave Shang Jingji far too much to do there. And now he's back on serve. Low ball toss. And he clips the back of the table with that backhanded flick of the wrist. Everything going Changhua's way now. He's racing away in this third game. Looks very much like he's going to go 2-1 in front. Oh, what a shot that was. We've seen the backhand to good effect. That was the forehand down the line. Shang Jingji unable to get anywhere near it. This is one-way traffic in the third game. High quality rally. Shang Jingji keen to get the message to Changhua that he's not intimidated by what we've seen in this third game. And again, another uncharacteristic blip from Changhua, who gifts a point and goes to the towel once more. So here we are, 8-4. Changhua serving. Off the net and out, and he's given Shang Jingji away back into this game. Well, psychologically, if he was to lose this game, Changhua, it takes something to bounce back in terms of the mental effects it would have. He's shown he's got the game here, but just keeps letting Shang Jingji back into things. That's stopped the rot, though. 9-5, 2 points away from a 2-1 lead. Oh, there's a service mistake. It's hit the edge of the table from Shang Jingji. Criminal, which brings up 5 game points to Changhua. And he only needs one of them. So we've had 3 pretty one-sided games here, but they've been shared between the 2 players. First one, Huang Chua, 11-6. Second one, Shang Jingji, 11-4. And the third one, very impressive table tennis play by Changhua to take it 11-5. And KTS at the moment are looking good to take a 2-1 lead in this first matchup, with a doubles and a single still to come. Up next, incidentally, it's the doubles between KTS's Yang Hai-Chan and Shen Yufei, and Sun Sports Elite's Kerry Tan and Ji Kiat. And of course that, if Changhua can close this out, will be a chance for KTS to pick up their first victory in this round robin system at the first time of asking, and the defending champions under pressure all of a sudden of starting their defence with a loss. So It'll be Shang Jingji to get us underway in this fourth game. Changhua has shown the better form here, but he let Shang Jingji in the second game. Early indications are he doesn't intend to do the same here. Misses that one though, it's too long. Tied at one each. Ah, superb table tennis from both men off the net cord. What a return! Somehow he manages to win the point. Changhua, that was the rally of the match so far. And can understand Shang Jingji's frustration there. He coped brilliantly, reacting to two net cords. And then the spin after Changhua had finally managed to get another thunderbolt back from Shang Jingji was too much to deal with. Standard is being picked up here big time in the fourth game. Oh, another one that deceives the defence of Shang Jingji from Changhua. He's talking to himself out there. Shang Jingji is a bit frustrated. He's lost a couple of these big points in this fourth game. I'm not sure he even knows himself how he lost them. He's gone long there. And now the danger is he takes time to try and work out how he's losing these points without concentrating on how to win the next one. And he's getting to the point now where he starts to really be needing to pick up some points to stay in touch with Changhua in this fourth. That cord there. Just get the impression mentally Shang Jingji is a bit fragile at the moment. Changhua looks the more composed of the two at the moment. Oh, another high quality rally this. The backhand from Changhua helps within the point again as the return from Shang Jingji goes long. And the gap is up to 3 points. Sun Sports Elite could trail in this matchup 2-1 heading into the second doubles. Look at this battle of the backhands here. That's won by Changhua. Refusing to blink first, the boy in blue. And he's just maintaining that nice little 3-point cushion in this fourth game. The backhand is just absolutely immaculate. It was when the forehand came into play that Shang Jingji had some success there, so I'm sure he's going to try and maybe force Changhua, if he can, onto the forehand just that little bit more. Changhua serving at 6-4, 2-1. Really high quality this. Sit back and enjoy this on 11 Sports. Great table tennis from both, and Shang Jingji, having had that early crisis of confidence in the fourth game, is now back in there fighting, pitching for a chance to take this to a fifth. Tension palpable here. A sizable crowd has gathered round to watch this singles matchup now. In the hundreds, the people watching this one both round the table and up in the grandstands, which are pretty full here. Remember, we've got a whopping 34 tables, 92 teams across 6 divisions here at the 2018 ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League, and they're enjoying a singles match up here of the highest caliber. Oh, great reactions from Chang Hua. He reacted brilliantly to that net cord, and he almost caught Zhang Dingji in 2 minds there. And in the context of the match, that was a huge point as well. Could have been easily 7-all. Instead, it's 8-6, and the timeout comes from Sun Sports Elite as they try and gather the thoughts of Zhang Dingji to try and save this match up. Can Chang Hua take KTS to within 1 rubber of picking up their first match victory here? KTS, who won their first rubber this morning, with Shang Zheng coming in against Joseph E in 5 games, 11-6, 14-12, 10-12, 8-11, 11-2, before an immaculate doubles performance from Wang Chiu and Zhuan Yingxing of Sun Sports Elite, defeating Wu Qi and Li Mingcheng of KTS, 11-6, 11-3, 15-13. And now, after winning the first game 11-6, losing the second 11-4, and winning the third 11-5, Chang Hua resumes at 8-6 in front in what he will hope is a decisive 4th game. Oh, superb down the line. The switch to the forehand works in Chang Hua's favour on that occasion. And if he can win this second point on his own serve, he'll have 4 match points. Well, the spin utterly bamboozling Zhang Jingji there. It's an ace if you like, and it's 4 match points. Too long on that occasion. Still got 3 in the bank though. One of them though is on Zhang Jingji's serve. Long again. He's seen 2 come, he's seen 2 go. But now he'll get 2 on his own serve. Chang Hua to close this out. Composes himself, goes for the towel. Sun Sports Elite have used their timeout. KTS have still got theirs in the bank if they need it. Chang Hua, though, has looked composed all the way through this, and you do fancy him to close it out here. What a rally to finish things off. Chang Hua comes good. A smile from Zhang Dingji. That was high quality table tennis. But it goes the way of the man from KTS. And KTS now have a 2 rubbers to 1 lead. Chang Hua takes it against Zhang Dingji. 11-6, 4-11, 11-5, 11-8. Stay with us to see if KTS can wrap up this match in one of 2 chances they get to do just that. The singles, Lia Tian and Jing Yuan will wrap this match up, but before that, can they win it in the doubles as Zhang Haiqian and Shen Yufei take on Kerry Tan and Ji Kiat of Sun Sports Elite. Stay with us, the warm-up just about to get underway, and we'll be back with live commentary here on 11 Sports. So here we go. What's sure to be a keenly contested doubles match-up here with KTS within sight of what will be a big win for them against the defending champions of Sun Sports Elite. You're watching live coverage of the ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League 2018 live from our Tampines Hubs Community Auditorium, where there are 2,000 people packed in here who are all enjoying some terrific table tennis. At the moment, this Sun Sports Elites team of Kerry Chan and Ji Kiat are in cruise control here. KTS have to try and get a foothold in here. Yang Hai Chiang and Shen Yu Fai. Can't get a look in at the moment. They're being blown off the table at the minute. Too long there. They finally get a point on the board. And another. So, having dashed out the blocks, the team of Kerry Chen and Ji Kiat just being reined in a little. And another one goes long. This is a blink and you'll miss it game here. Don't think we're going to get too many long rallies in this one. Incidentally, if Sun Sports Elite were to win this rubber, it would all come down to Li Chiang and Jing Quan in the fifth match. But before we can start thinking about that, we'll have that game regardless, even if it is a dead rubber, in case countback comes into play at the end of the proceedings tomorrow. But in terms of the importance in the context of this match, that will only become clear after this one. Sun Sports Elite still in front. It's a service error from KTS that's put Sun Sports Elites within touching distance of this first game, but they themselves make an unforced error. And here we go, a quick fire comeback from KTS. Yang Hai Tiang and Shen Yu Fai. Clawing their way back into this one, and how? That goes long and high onto an adjoining table. So that's 3 consecutive points now for Tian and Fai. Claw back to within 2. Mistake though. Brings up game point. The first one is spurned. They've still got 2 more. And they've got 2 more on their own serve. Great save there. That was a great point from KTS. Can they save one more? They've saved 2. It'll be some turnaround if they can win this match, KTS. This game, I should say. Let called on the serve. They'll go again. They've seen 2 come and go, but they won't see a third come and go. Frustration for KTS. Sun Sports Elite take the first game in the second doubles rubber by 11 points to 9. Sun Sports Elite 11-9 winners of that opening game. So we're back live on 11 Sports at the ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League 2018. What a thrilling match we've had. Our first match of this 2018 league on our Table 18 TV table here at our Tampines Sub-Community Auditorium. KTS in blue against Sun Sports Elite. KTS taking out the first rubber with Shang Sheng beating Joseph He of Sun Sports. The doubles match was a comprehensive victory for Wang Chiao and Juan Liang Sheng against their KTS opposition. And Chang Hua really impressive in winning his singles rubber of KTS against Sun Sports Elite's Zhang Jingji by 3-1. And now in this doubles match, which if KTS win it will be the 2 points in the bag for KTS. Sun Sports Elite got off to a very quick start in their efforts to make sure that doesn't happen. And the doubles team at the moment of Kerry Chan and Ji Kiat looking very strong indeed. And just as they did in the first game, they've raced into an early lead here. Looking increasingly like this is going to come down to the final singles rubber between Li Qian and Jing Quan. Great shot, split down the middle. They can afford to laugh about it, Sun Sports Elite, because they still have a 6-2 lead in this second game. Too quick and too good. That flick of the wrist on the backhand sends it across the table. And this is a rapid fire second game in progress here. Oh, 9-3 and Sun Sports Elite. You see the square blade being employed by one of the KTS team here at the moment, not doing the trick. They're in danger of being blown away in this second game, but just as they did in the first, they are making a late charge. It was too late last time. Is it going to be too late this time? They've got to within 4. And they have got to within 3. Well, it's almost a carbon copy of the previous game where they were cruising to victory and then crawled over the line 11-9. Now they've gone from 9-3 to 9-6. That unforced mistake, though, brings up 4 game points to take a 2-to-love lead. Sun Sports Elite and Kerry Chan and Ji Kiat get it done. So 11-6, and they're within 1 game now, taking us to what would be a deciding 5th and final rubber in this opening matchup on our TV table of the 2018 ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League. It's KTS in blue, Sun Sports Elite in yellow. Come back with us. We'll be back with live commentary of the deciding game in this one next. So, first blood in this third game to Sun Sports Elite. They've just blown away Yang Haiqian and Xin Yufei. And as they've done in the previous 2 games, they are out to a commanding start here. And already you have to think attention's just going to start turning to the 5th and final rubber. In this tie, Li Qiang and Jing Yuan are standing by. And that, you get the feeling, is now going to be the way we decide a winner here. Well, this has been the least competitive of the rubbers in this matchup so far, but that's not disparaging to Yang Hai Chan and Xing Yu Fai, more of a compliment to the skills of Kerry Chan and Ji Kiat, who have not taken the foot off the gas at any stage here. They've survived a couple of mid-game comebacks in both the games so far. There's a miss there, though, as Bernard Tan rejoins alongside me. And Bernard, your timing's fantastic here, because it looks like Sun Sports Elite's doubles team of Kerry Tan and Ji Kiat are going to take us to what will be a fifth and deciding rubber, with Liu Qian and Jing Yang of KTS and Sun Sports Elite respectively waiting in the wings in the singles. This has been a very impressive doubles display by Tan and Kiat.
Well, I think this is a great opportunity for Sunsport to level the match, because I think they are 2-1 down. And with this doubles, I think they will probably bring the score back to 2-all, and it will be left to the final singles to decide the outcome of the match. And I think based on paper, you would see Tay and Tan from Sunsports getting an edge over this KTS doubles combination.
Yes, that's been one-way traffic pretty much in this. Just a quick word, Bernard, while you're here. One of the, and you'll have to forgive me, I don't know which is which of the KTS team, but I noticed the square blade in use by the player on the right. Do you know who that chap is? Is that Yang or is that Sen?
That's Sen.
Sen, yes. And it also looks like it's a bit of an antique as well. It looks like he's had that with him a long, long time.
Yes.
Is that,
Sen is a former national player,
yeah.
SEA Games silver medalist in doubles. And I think KTS has called on him to help to boost their ranks in doubles. But this combination from Sunsport is really strong. But I think Sun uses they call it the Japanese penhole style. A lot of the Japanese and Korean players used to use this type of rackets.
Does it not count as a square blade, that? I mean, it's a
square blade.
Yes.
Yes.
But as you can see from the side that's facing the camera, it does look like it's well worn. Would that be that's every chance that's the bat he won his SEA Games silver medal with, isn't it?
Yes. Sun has been using this racket for ages. It's a very well constructed racket. I think about maybe 15-20 years ago, each racket would have cost in excess of 250 Singapore dollars. Wow. And that's quite a high price to pay for a racket.
It certainly is, but the amount he's used it, he's probably got good value for money out of that. Back to the game, meanwhile, and 3 match points brought up for the Sun Sports Elite team, and it looks like we are going to go to that decider. I'll get your thoughts on that decider in a minute, Bernard, and then I'll ask you how you got on. I already know because I was watching a little bit, so I'll put you on the spot there, but that was rather routine, wasn't it? And they take it in straight games. Tan and Kiat mean we are level at 2 rubbers apiece. They beat Yang Hai Qian and Sin Yu Fai 11-9, 11-6, 11-7, and we're all set now. The stage is set for our 5th and final rubber between Liu Qian of KTS and Jing Yuan of Sun Sports Elite. That's something to look forward to. But Bernard, before we look forward to that, tell us how you got on over there, because I saw you were a game up when I looked over one time, and then the next time I looked over, you were facing match point, and unfortunately it went against you.
Yes, I think my doubles partner, Alan Ding, is a little bit injured with his back today. And his mobility was severely restricted, and he experienced some pain when he was moving around. And well, we have left it to our teammate to try and pull the tie back in our favor. It's 2-2 now between Safra A and Safra 1 at table 15 of the league. And we hope that we can inch our way to victory, because we hope to maintain our challenge for the title. But of course, Safra 1 is quite a strong team nonetheless. Coming to focus on this Sunsport KTS final decider between Ying Xingyuan and Liu Tian. I think Ying from Sunsport has been excellent play in the past, but in recent times he had taken a break because of studies and national service commitments. He was in the Singapore Youth Olympic Games training squad and represented us in several qualifying competitions for the Youth Olympic Games. And he was at some point in time touted as one of the best prospects in local table tennis. Liu is a Chinese player too. I think came to Singapore on a student pass and has since settled down in Singapore and plays for KTS.
So again, in context of this competition, Bernard, obviously with Sun Sports Elite, fancy to go very close to retaining their title they won last year. How disastrous is it? I mean, in an 8-team round robin system, how disastrous is it if you lose your first match? Can you recover from that to still be confident of winning, or does it put real pressure on them if they go down in the first matchup?
I think this year's competition is a bit of a triangle between the top 3 teams. So it all depends on how these 3 teams fare against each other.
And you wouldn't put KTS in that bracket?
KTS is definitely one of the teams
bracket,
together
right.
with Sunsport Elite and Safra A.
Safra A. So we could be starting by watching 2 of the teams that are battling it out for first and second spots in the league table. We're underway in the yellow, Sun Sports Elite and Jingyuan. In the blue is Liu Qian of KTS. And who would you make favourite going into this? I mean, you've given them both their resumes, which are excellent resumes, and they're both clearly very experienced players. But with the pressure on here, who is Bernard's mortgage on?
I know Ying Jingwen very well. I think he's a player who performs under pressure, and he has a very good critical points shots when he's playing in critical matches. And I would like to give him a little bit of the edge compared to Liu Tian.
So, Sun Sports Elite in the yellow have made a very good start in this deciding rubber. Some really high quality table tennis. While you were away, and I'm sure your game was excellent, Bernard, but you did tee it up and say it would be a great game. It was. Chang Hua played some wonderful table tennis to get the better of Shang Dingji in 4 games. It was really impressive.
I think Tang Hua is a bit more focused, and I caught a glimpse of him playing in that match. I think he was really focused and wanted to help his team to victory, and I think his win over Chang Dingji was impressive.
Well, we haven't had any 11-0 games so far on the TV table today. Are we going to get our first one here? Coming out the blocks, storming. Here's Xing Xingyang, and he's now 8-0 up.
Yeah, I think Liu is trying very hard to adapt to Ying's style of play, and he's obviously struggling to control his spins and so on, because Ying has got very strong spins on his serve, and his top spin is really going to prove challenging for his opponents.
He's just, I think, settled for getting a point on the board at the moment. He's played 10, lost 10 of the points in this first game, and are we seeing an example of why Sun Sports Elite are the defending champions here? Finally, he gets a point, albeit from an unforced service error from Yin Jingyuan, but still 9 game points, and he doesn't need more than the second one to nail it. 11-1, and that is a very statement-making win in the first game.
I'm a little bit surprised that Liu has offered very low resistance against Ying, because I think Liu is obviously a very seasoned and experienced player in the KTS team, and he's able to withstand the pressure usually, and that's why the coach has placed him in the last single slot. I think the coach was expecting the tie to go down to the wire, so I think maybe he's trying to help him now to get some focus in and how to get some good points, so that Ying will be under some pressure from Liu.
That's Chang Hua passing on the instructions, isn't it, who we saw earlier on in action. Now, also telling you the psychology of this game always fascinates me. You see here, no wonder, bearing in mind how the first game went, Yin Jingyang just wants to get on with this now, doesn't he? He's almost wanted an immediate turnaround. The arm goes up from the umpire. They want to get Liu Qian back on court, but the Sun Sports Elite boy just wants to get straight back at this and pick up where he left off.
Well, with a 10-0 lead in the first game, obviously he hasn't done anything wrong in the first game. So I think not much coaching to do. I think he will be trying to zoom his way past the second game. Hopefully Liu will provide some challenge.
A reminder, immediately after this on the TV table, it will be the the New Century Table Tennis Club team against the Safra A team, which is your team.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're looking forward to seeing. Are we going to see you in action in the next match?
Probably, I think.
Good stuff. I look forward to that. I can't say anything nasty about you like that, Bernard. I know you'll be watching it back, and I'm sure you'll do the business.
Well, it looks like Ying is still running away with this particular tie,
Well,
with a 3-0 lead in this second game.
If in terms of the neutral, I don't know what result you want for Safra A in this one, but in terms of the neutral, it's almost disappointing. We've had some real humdingers in terms of the rubbers in this first match, and the most one-sided one appears at this stage to be the last game we've seen.
Well, in Safra's analysis, Sunsport Elite is the team to beat for this year's competition. They've assembled very strong players across all 7 players.
Oh, what a get that was, by the way.
Fantastic point by Ying. But Liu, I think, is clawing back his way into this game. Yeah,
well,
2-3 now.
Liu Chen won that point, but Ying Jingyuan, it's almost like an exhibition shot he pulled out the bag there. And crucially, he's still keeping a couple of points lead in hand as they edge towards the 11-point barometer. But you're right, I think, Bernard. Liu Chen is just getting the hang of this, but has he given away too much ground already in the context of the match?
I think it all depends on how Ying handles this match as it goes along, this particular tie with Liu. I think he has got an edge, but I think he needs to remain focused so that he keeps the pressure on Liu. Of course, Liu will try a variety of means to get back into the game.
Well, he's levelled it up after losing the first 3 points of the second game. It's now 4 each. Well, there's no question. I appreciate we're in a round-robin situation. Each team's going to play 7 games here. Every team plays each other once. But having said that, the importance of this game can't really be overstated, because in terms of what Sunsport, and I know you guys take this so seriously in terms of your analysis and your team selections for each match, but if Sunsports Elite were to somehow lose this first matchup, it puts what they have to do to defend their crown really in stark reality in terms of what's to come. They couldn't afford any mistakes if they make one here.
If Sunsport loses this game, they definitely have to beat us, the Safra A team, in their next match, and hopefully Safra A will end up beating KTS, and then it's down to the points actually, because it will be a 3-way tie between the 3 teams.
Yeah, and of course that's why we play the dead rubbers, correct? Because then even the countbacks of every match won. Yes. And how far does that countback go, Bernard? Do you know? So it's matches won. Does it even go as far as how many points have been won?
Yes, they go down to the individual set score, and if they're still evenly matched, down to each point that has been played by the players.
So it could still be, I don't want to tempt fate, it could still be that your doubles partner's bad back cost you the tournament. Bernard, you can't see it grimacing at the moment. Meanwhile, all of a sudden we've got a game on here. Liu Qian, who maybe just sacrificed that first game to get a good look at the full repertoire of Ying Jingyuan's attacking shots, is now very much back in this. He trails just by a point in the second game. Just to confirm that the next game scheduled for 11 a.m. local time in Singapore, so actually past the scheduled time, but your team are ready to go, are they, Bernard, straight after
I think
this?
they've filled up the lineup.
So we'll get the team sheets through shortly. Have the team, I was going to ask my producer, have the team sheets come through for the next match? Not yet. Anna will inform us. Can you let us know if Bernard's name's on there? Make sure he's not on the first game. He might have to leave very quickly. 8 apiece then. Real close game here in the second. Caught unawares there. Hit nothing but fresh air. Did Liu Qian.
I think Ying is now trying to mix up his game and do the placement on different points of the table. Yes. And unsettle Liu a little bit. Indeed. He's a bit unsettled now. He's been serving twice to his backhand. So
2 game points for Sunsports on the KTS serve. Saves 1. Still 1 more to pull out the fire. And he's managed to save that one as well. So we go to Juice. So who'd have thought that? We get a Juice game here after an 11-1 opener.
It's been a fantastic turnaround by Liu, slowly inching his way back into the game.
Goes long though, unforced error, and it's another one So another game point, the third he's had in this second game, to take a 2-games-to-love lead and put Sun Sports Elites within touching distance. Can't do it. It's Juice again. And now we have a game point for KTS and Yu Qian, who's clawed his way back into this tie brilliantly. Oh, spin there beats him, didn't it?
Fantastic return by Ying. And I think Liu just missed the ball completely. Fantastic top spin from Ying.
Well, both players have now had game points in this second game. The fourth one now, though, for Yin Jingquan. And he gets it done at the fourth time of asking, takes the second 14-12, and now Sun Sports Elites and Ying Jingyan within just one more game of picking up their first 2 points in this round-robin league format at the ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League 2018. We'll be back in a moment with the third game, and of course don't forget, coming up on the TV table we'll enjoy the New Century Table Tennis Club against Safra One, including an appearance by none other than Bernard Tan, my co-commentator. Stay with us for that. So we're back underway then. Can Ying Jingyuan get this done and complete an impressive turnaround for Sun Sport Elite, who's trailed twice in this match? 1-0, 2-1. The doubles team of Kerry Tan and Ji Kiat in impressive style got it back to 2 each, and now have they saved the best till last. What a shot that was, coming really deep. Took one chance too many though, and he puts Liu Chen on the board in this third game. Remember, as you were listening to Bernard before, every point essentially crucial in this, regardless of whether the rubber is dead or alive in terms of countback. And this match and this rubber, of course, still very much alive, even though at this stage Sun Sports Elites do look like they're going to bring it home. Disappointment for Ying Jingwan on that occasion. He goes long there. And Ying Jingyuan, he hasn't enjoyed the same dominance that he did in the first game after that. 11-1 he took the first game, but he's been impressive enough. And he saved the game point that Liu Chen had in the second game, and the timeout I think is going to come here. Yeah, the timeout comes from KTS to try and salvage this, and Chang Hua, the experienced figure in that KTS team, now trying to offer some words of wisdom up to Liu Chen. A reminder, up next it's the New Century Table Tennis Club 1 team against Safra A, including our very own Bernard Tan. He's been wonderful on co-commentary so far this morning. We'll get a chance to see him in action in a little while. crucial that Liu Chan takes all the time he can here in this timeout. You can see, as he did after the change of ends at the end of the first game, Yingjing Yuan just wants to get on with this now. Time called by assistant judge. And now, can he turn it round? Having spoke to Cheng Hua, can Liu Chan possibly find a way out of this spot he finds himself in now? He picks up a cheap point off a service error from Yingjing Yuan there. And he picks up another point there, so the timeout appears to have done the trick at this stage. He's won the first 2 points post the timeout. Oh, great rally. And again, it goes the way of KTS and Liu Chan, who found something from somewhere. Cheng Hua's words of wisdom at the timeout have done the trick. Can Yingjing Yang change the tide? He can. That return was straight into the net. Oh, the net caught and out. And we're tied at 6 each. Well, having taken the first game 11-1, the second 14-12, Yingjing Yuan at this point, I'm sure, just wants to limp over the line any way he can. It may be the first match of this 2-day tournament, this 2-day ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League for 2018, but in the context of who's to be crowned champions late tomorrow afternoon, the importance of this game is huge. And Sun Sports Elite, trying to maintain and defend their crown, are now just 4 points away from getting their first 2 points on the league table round robin format on the board. But Liu Chan is proving a tough cookie, having been blown away in the first. He was presented with a game point in the second, which he couldn't take advantage of, and Yingjing Yang finally closed the second game out. Now he's just edged ahead in the third. Sun Sports Elite are on the brink of picking up their first 2 points of the competition. In 2018, the 2017 champions, are they about to get the job done? 3 match points, 3 points for Sun Sports Elite to take the match up against KTS. And they only need one of them. Great table tennis from Yingjing Yuan. Liu Chan improved as the match went on. But it is the Sun Sports Elite man that takes it 11-1, 14-12, 11-7. And more importantly, Sun Sports Elite take the match by 3 rubbers to 2. Zhang Zhen won the first singles for KTS. Sun Sports Elite leveled it up with the doubles team of Wang Jiao and Zhuan Yingsheng. Then the singles performance of Cheng Hua was arguably their performance of the day so far, put KTS back in front before Kerry Tan and Ji Kiat blew away their opponents in the doubles of Sun Sport Elite. And then you've just seen Yingjing Yang take out in straight games the 5th and final rubber. So it's advantage Sun Sports Elite in Division 1 of the 2018 ATT Singapore National Table Tennis League. Stay with us, because up next we'll bring you New Century Table Tennis Club 1 up against Safra A. That's up next.